Anderson, are you ever going to sign your extension paperwork? Is it going to happen before training camp? I get some answers. And from the NFL, she's got her paws all over this beautiful masterpiece / impossible task that is the NFL schedule. And it's out. You have questions. Charlotte Carey from the NFL has answers. Release was a massive success. Shout out to all the social media teams. Get that, New Orleans? Teams, not just one person or intern that just covers social media. It takes huge teams and moments and creativity and then execution and organization, and they absolutely crushed it. It's super, super fun. And it's hard to sort of watch all 32 because some of these were like motion pictures. It was they're winning short films and getting nominations at the Webbies and the Oscars coming up. Some of these incredibly done. But we start, as we should, with the primetime games. That's where these eyes go. Who's getting primetime love? Jets, Niners, Cowboys tied for the most with 6 apiece. Jets are just 1-5 in primetime over the last 2 years. By the way, we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can help change that. I don't know how much Aya there is in the world to turn this team's primetime stats around, but if one guy can do it, it's him. 8 teams, including the Bills, Chiefs, Packers, and Bengals, get 5. Little surprised we don't see Houston get more, if I'm going to be being honest here. What up, Casario down there? What up, C.J. Stroud? Thought they might get a little bit more love. Bears, they only get 3 with Caleb. Some people saying only. I don't know. I think they should get more. Biggest rivalry, them and the Packers, right? Oldest, most tenured. They did get 2 other standalone games, though, as well. And the Panthers get shut out, which you gotta know. David Tepper, he's not going to like that. He's not going to like that, and neither is Canales after meeting him. And probably neither is their quarterback. They're going to have to prove something, and I kind of like that. But that can't be sitting well. He's the last owner to maybe not do that to, but to have that in his lap and not take that as some radical candor in the state of where things are, and then where they can be and change and look up to dig out of that hole. Speaking of digging, let's dig into some of the other games that I'm most excited about. These are just, I would call them my faves. Not necessarily the biggest matchups, ones that are going to be blogged about or talked about most or TikToked about the most, but these are kind of my faves. Texans, Cowboys, I'm in. It's Monday night. It's week 11. Things get interesting by then. There's a couple of reasons I'm excited. For starters, we get to see Stephon and Trayvon. I love a Diggs brother situation. Like any brother game facing each other, I love. But then you get the actual defense versus offense of it. It's kind of nice. And it'll be electric. And I think those two in particular have been waiting for this for a long time. Beyond that, this is an insane. I said the Texans should have gotten more love. This is a great opportunity for said Houston Texans. They've gained a lot over the past year. They've got momentum. They've got talent. They got wins. They got trophies. With Stroud, the defense, and now the Diggs trade, they are and they should be looked at as a Super Bowl contender, okay? The Cowboys, on the other hand, they are already having their title as America's team come into question before anything even happens. And if Houston goes into Jerry World and wins this, they might not be the best team in their state anymore. So it gets a little spicy. It'll be one of those meaningful, the way we look at both teams changes opportunity games. Bigger for the Texans, and oh my gosh, you better not lose this for the Cowboys. Okay, next up, I'm going to keep the brotherly love going. I don't know why I like the humanity of things, but I do. And there's a lot of for grabs here with the Harbaugh Bowl. Harbaugh brothers squaring off Week 12 on Monday. Ravens go to LA to take on the Chargers. First time these two squads meet since Super Bowl 47. That's 13 long seasons ago when, of course, John and the Ravens took it to Harbaugh and the Niners in New Orleans, where the Super Bowl is once more this year. I had Chargers brand new, first time ever, GM Joe Ortiz, who spent 26 years in Baltimore hanging out with John, what it's going to mean now working with Jim, and you know, how competitive are the juices actually between these two khaki-wearing dudes? How often do you think Jim's thought about that Super Bowl loss to John?
I think, you know, I think he's proud. We've talked about it. It was an unbelievable, unique moment. Two brothers going against each other.
Crazy.
You know, and just, I think he's proud to have been in it. And certainly I know he wanted to win that game, you know, and I'm going to do everything I can on my side to help him win those games, you know. So, but it was awesome. It was a neat experience. We played them on Thanksgiving, I think the first time we played them, and then to play them in Super Bowl, both big, unique games. And, we'll do it again. Who knows when it'll be.
Okay, this one's going to have all the things you want, all the feels. Pop the popcorn, do your thing, get some, I don't even know, get some snacks, get your nachos, get on the couch and enjoy. Speaking of feels, the other game that I'm really looking forward to is Sean Payton's return to New Orleans. I really like this. Week 7, it's Thursday Night Football. Coach Payton, of course, when you look at him, do you see a Broncos visor when you conjure up a picture of Sean Payton in your head, or do you see this one? You see this one. This is who he is. He's iconic. And bringing the Saints their lone Lombardi is iconic, and in iconic fashion in Super Bowl 44. Knowing the Saints organization the way that I do, they're going to make this special. It'll be a special night for him. The energy in that place, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. He's going to be at an 11 out of 10, losing his actual mind during that game, wanting to put it to the Saints, respectfully, of course. And finally, we're talking faves here. We're getting a meeting of the 2 top rookie quarterbacks in Week 8. Caleb Williams going to Washington to take on Jayden Daniels, the Commanders, and Bobby Wagner. There's a lot of layers to this. Beyond them being 2 top picks in this year's draft, Caleb's D.C. homecoming. A lot of talk about him not wanting to play in Chicago. Let him go play in D.C. Also, we don't get to see Heisman winners often. This is the first meeting between 2 rookie Heisman guys in a decade. So it's rare, it's special, and Caleb's gonna have to deal with Bobby Wagner now. That's kind of it. We have him on the show in just a second. This is one of those games that's sneaky. That's what I look for. I think the sneaky playoff implications of these games. 2 NFC teams, they improved a lot this offseason. I genuinely think both are in the mix for a playoff spot down the stretch right around this time. These are the games that are super meaningful, and a game like this could end up being the deciding factor as to which one of them actually gets in.